Good morning, good morning, good morning. This is Lily for all of you that don't know me. For all of you that do, how you doing? Okay, if it don't apply, let it fly, as always. This topic of conversation is a little tricky. It's called the trigger effect, okay? Everything you do in your life triggers something else and affects certain people in your life. Okay, it might not affect the guy at the grocery store, and it might not affect your next door neighbor, but it's affecting somebody. And the broadness of this topic is, the trigger effect is in every aspect of your life. You know what I mean? For example, I quit school when I was younger. I went back and all of that, but the trigger effect was, when I dropped out of high school, I was doing drugs, I was in the streets, I was doing all these different things, and then when the maturity kicked in and I was trying to get a decent job and I changed my life around, guess what? I couldn't even get a decent job. I was working at McDonald's. Yeah, I became manager because I'm a boss. I'm always the boss. But it was still, there was only but so much growth in my life. Okay, so that was a trigger effect. Choices you make yesterday affect your today's, and it affects my children. It affects my home. It affected my finances. You know what I'm saying? Man, you out there, you live in a certain lifestyle. If you got a girl, your mama, your children, it's a trigger effect. If something happens to you, you know what I'm saying? You always watching your back. You never got peace, even if you don't get caught. You know what I'm saying? It's a trigger effect. Your woman's always worried. Your family's always worried. Everybody's concerned about Joe, Billy, Bob, whoever you are. You know what I'm saying? It's a trigger effect. Watch what you do in your life, man. Focus on the decisions that you're making, because you are not, as much as you'd like to think so, you are not the only one affected by it. And it triggers from you, for whatever you're doing. If you're in the streets, if you're running women, if you're in the club every weekend, whatever it is that you're doing in your life, it triggers things, and it affects people down the line. you know, um, you know, there's just so much to it, man. And just, the bottom line is, watch what you're doing and focus and pay attention. And don't think that the choices in your life don't affect anyone else. You know what I mean? Because like I said, perfect example, when I dropped out of high school, it didn't affect nobody right there and then. And it did. It affected my mother, it affected me, and affected my future. And then it affected my children. You know what I'm saying? It affected them because I wasn't financially stable to do for them the way that I needed to if I would have made better choices. When you know better, you do better, But, people don't think that. People think, oh, I'm a loner, I'm by myself, I ain't bothering nobody, I'm just doing me. But you know what? There is somebody, somewhere connected to you, somehow, and your life choices affects others. Now, I know you can't live for other people. You know what I mean? Like if you work in doubles, or if you, you grinding, you're trying to open up a company, if you're, going back to school, whatever. Either your kids are missing you, your partner's missing you. Sometimes you got to do what you got to do for your life, and you can't be worrying about the next person. But we're talking about those situations where you're not safe mentally, emotionally, financially, spiritually. You're affecting other people's lives. Watch what you do, be attentive, and stay focused, because what you do today is going to affect your tomorrows, and somebody else besides you is going to be affected by the choices that you make. Just food for thought.